Do you think Americans truly understand the history?
Danuta was beaten with a truncheon 73 times. They counted, they could hear her, and they were used to hearing screams.
Сейчас это противостояние становится центральным противостоянием мировым.
You can look at human history anywhere, and what you see is a complete bloody nightmare. It's death and struggle and privation and war and horror everywhere.
Anyone in this room, does anyone in this room have it worse than their grandparents?
There's one pattern in which you generate political support by creating a, quote, crisis, unquote.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you?
Now, since all human situations have some negative features to them, nothing is easier than to find something to complain of and to call it a crisis.
Any old guru can sell you on a method to find it. And a clever guru is a person who leads you on. Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty. I've got something very good to show you. You just wait. Oh, but you've got to go through a lot of stages yet. You say, can I get that? Oh, I want to get that.
The poorest way to face life is to face it with a sneer. There are many men who feel a kind of twisted pride in cynicism. There are many who confine themselves to criticism of the way others do what they themselves dare not even attempt. There is no more unhealthy being, no man less worthy of respect than he who either really holds or feigns to hold an attitude of sneering disbelief toward all that is great and lofty. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who, at the best, knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly.
And there's something to be said for a bit of humility as well. It's like, really, you really think that you're capable of making large-scale social transformations and getting it right, do you? You really think that? You're 25, you're 30, you're 40, I don't care. What makes you think you're smart enough to pull off something like that? It's very, very difficult. Very, very, very difficult.
I come from the mountains, Kentucky's my home.
Former Wisconsin judge killed in a targeted
Man is
attack.
facing federal charges for the attempted murder of Brett Kavanaugh.
Public Administrator Robert Tellis stands before a judge for the first time in the case of Review Journal reporter Jeff German's murder.
Police say this man fired several rounds.
Every green valley there runs a clear stream. Now the scenes of destruction on every hand.
SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne. You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea.
Sad scenes of destruction on every hand. Black waters run down through the land.
Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight and the way that you're developing it.
Now is the time to overrule this administration's pledge to mediocrity.
But the hillside explodes with the dynamite's roar. And boy, birds will sound there no more. And the hillsides come a-sliding so awful and grand, and the flooding black waters rise over my land. Sad scenes of destruction on every hand. Black waters run down through the land. Sad scenes of destruction on every hand. Black waters run down through the land.
Rioters showed up, actually begged them not to destroy our storefront.
But my land's not mine. But if I had 10 million somewhere thereabouts, I would buy Perry County and I'd throw them all out. And down on the banks with my bait and my can, and just watch the clear waters run down through my land.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
Like the old promised land. Black waters, no more in my land.
And I wonder what you think of that.
You know, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. You know, I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.